Hey guys, we just got back from the theaters. We're going to do a quick non-spoiler review for you for Equalizer 2.
Does it hold up? Puns. I love them.
What?
The Sequelizer. Come on.
The Sequelizer, and then you said what?
Puns. I love them.
Okay, got it. So, starring Denzel Washington as Robert McCall, this sort of action hero who has a mysterious past, and he has a certain set of skills. And
Amazing skills.
Yeah, and in the first film, Chloe Grace Moretz's character gets him to come out of sort of hiding and retirement, and, well, not really retirement, they thought he was dead, and just to beat up a bunch of people, and it's fucking awesome because it's Denzel Washington, and he's got this vision mode where he goes in and breaks everybody's neck and stabs them and kills them. So, what did you guys think? Let's just jump right in. What did you guys think of the sequel?
They were trying too much with this one.
Trying too hard.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, can you elaborate?
The first one, it's like, hey, there's a bad guy. He's doing bad things. Time to fuck shit up. And then he's doing it in style, and it was great.
Yeah.
This one, they were trying to do too much story and too much of, like, trying to care for, like, other things. It's like, hey, you know what you are. You're a shoot-'em-up movie. Mm-hmm. Just entertain me. But you're trying too hard.
It's difficult for me to, in terms of criticism, try to figure out what trying too hard means. What do you think it means, Alex?
So sometimes with these movies, your first one, or like, especially when it's a new director, it's the same director for this one, but he had the Equalizer one was a success. Like, people really liked it. And it was kind of out of nowhere. It was weird. I mean, Denzel's done these like Man on Fire type movies before. Yeah. And he didn't try to. There wasn't a complicated script. Like, the plot was pretty simple, and things were pretty good. Like, it was really easy.
There's a Russian kick his ass.
Yeah, the bad guy, go beat him up.
And the bad guy was sort of menacing,
and a piece of shit.
Underground boss. And here they sort of have a less menacing boss.
Even if he is on par, like, there was so much talking about him trying to come to peace with his wife dying, which happened years ago. But and there's a lot of closure. Like, they want to have closure for this film.
And there's a lot of side quests as well.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, a little bit too many, and so it really affects the pacing of the film. So I will say I yawned twice in the film. So that's not a good thing. I never yawned in the original Equalizer.
Exactly.
And so that kind of tells you a little bit of what you can expect. I think the first act, the very starts off good. He's doing his thing. He's doing the whole room scanning and beating up some random person on a train. And it jumps you right into the action. But then
it starts falling off.
Yeah, it's towards the second half of the first act and the second act completely. It is really a slow burn. Now, the original was a slow burn too, a little bit.
I don't know.
And it was partly due to the directing style. This one has the same director. But yeah, this one, there's moments of it where you are a little bit bored and you would really just wish he gets to the point.
Yeah.
Now, that is mainly to set up these side characters and these side plots. And really only two of them matter. He meets up with characters from the previous movie, Bill Pullman's character.
The President of the United States.
And Susan, who is basically his contact. She gets him all the intel and information and jobs kind of that he's needing. So there's a lot of subplots going on, and it almost feels like they really didn't have a plan for this one. The first one was was successful.
Yeah,
they wanted to do another one, and they kind of just threw darts there. Okay, what should we do? Let's get a little bit of his backstory, more of the backstory. But here, it's inconsequential. You don't really learn a whole lot, so all that time felt like spinning its wheels.
Yeah.
Let's do some more with his, his crew. Okay, yeah, I guess that's a natural progression, but again, that just serves to sort of give us a new setup, and that one's all right. And overall, I just feel like the film never captured the tension of the original. And that may be because Denzel's character, he's like invulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, at no point do you feel like he's going to get hurt.
No, not at all.
There's at one point, he's in the most compromised position, right? Somebody's right behind you. They're going to attack you.
Well, he's
an Uber driver, right? And
he's got plot armor. It's amazing.
I know, but we need to see Denzel suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
So that we can feel for him and we can be like, is he going to make it out this time? Because he is getting older. Remember in the first one it teased, oh, he's 8 seconds slower. Oh my God. In this one, he's 10 seconds faster. Remember his stopwatch was 26 seconds instead of 36?
He's getting better with age. He's getting better.
So you see, it lacks a little bit of the tension. What else?
Yeah.
I'm trying to give away spoilers.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah.
a lot of things I want to talk about in the spoiler section.
Okay,
I thought
well,
this movie was not as bad as I thought. And this is something important to come before the spoilers. We came in and the Rotten Tomato score was like 30%.
Yeah.
This is not that bad. And they've since come up quite a bit. I think they're sitting around 50%. And I think this movie is average, if not a little bit above average. It's kind of been done before. Had this movie come out 10 years ago before we got the first Equalizer and John Wick 2, where there's this guy doing good things and there's bad people and he's kind of invulnerable, this movie would have been a little bit better. But the bar's been raised. Like John Wick really raised the bar on this type of film.
John Wick is a far more entertaining series as a whole, but even the first Equalizer is a superior film. And when he goes back to it, you get little flashes and glimpses of him back in his element, and it's fun to see these new fight scenes, but they're really few and far between, and they're the slow burn like the first one is. But if this second slow burn doesn't engage you with its side plots, its characters, and the final boss, it's just a less of a movie. It's acceptable, but it's just less of a movie. And I would probably save your money. I'm not sure, if Blind Spotting is out yet, but I think it is. Shoot, now I feel like I wish we would have seen that instead of this one. So it may not be the strongest one to go to the theaters, this one. If you're a big fan of the original, I almost say wait until it's out on Netflix.
I'm a big fan. I would say wait.
Yeah.
I'd go see. I mean, if you want like a nonsense action movie, then this is fine.
Mm-hmm. So that is our quick review of The Equalizer, and stick with us if you want a spoiler section for the film where we can kind of get into depth what these guys are saying and point out some of the plot holes or dumb moments in this sort of climax, because I have some problems in the climax. Okay, guys? So let's give final verdicts. Oh, I'm almost about to wrap up here. Let's give final verdict.
Final verdict, I'm going to go with the 5. This was an average movie. The first one, it captured, hey, it's a shoot-'em-up movie. This is great. That's what I remember from the first one. Amazing fight scene, Denzel being great. This one, it was a big-time lack in between. It really brought the movie down for me.
What would you rather see, Joe? Skyscraper or Equalizer 2?
Oh, I'd rather see this one.
Yeah, me too. I'd rather see Equalizer 2.
This one's
because
better.
Denzel puts in a more memorable performance than The Rock. I like Robert McCall, his character, more than the character that Dwayne Johnson played in Skyscraper. So he's a little more fascinating to watch. What about you? What's your final verdict?
This was kind of close for me. Had we lost one of the non-violent side plots that kind of didn't really... They had like the surprise ending, and had it been one more little side quest where he goes beats up a bunch of people, I think this could have pushed to 6. Yeah. Because I don't feel like I think that the critics are really, really hard on this film. 30% is really bad.
Yeah.
And
that's Skyscraper territory.
And then this has gone back up. I think everyone's at about 50%. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I wish it would have been a little bit higher because I like the first. Yeah. But I'm gonna give this a 5.
So I would also give it a 5, but because I'm being harder on movies these days, I'm going to go with a 4 out of 10. And why? Just because I have to be harder on movies? No, because this is a sequel. And when you're doing a sequel, you absolutely can't have this feel like a lazy cash-in.
Yeah, they let off the gas.
Because it's such a mixture of a lot of different leftover ideas or just additional extended ideas that could have fit in the original film, or that you're like, oh, I bet you this stuff happens. And they're like, yeah, this stuff happens. But it's scatterbrained throughout the film, and it doesn't really come together as a cohesive whole. His past comes back to haunt him, but it's pretty predictable in that sense and less engaging, especially when the boss in the final battle isn't quite as good as the memorable scene where he goes into that, real fancy gold room with all these, gangster Russian guys or something like that, and just kicks everybody's ass. So, first one is superior, guys, and so definitely by far. So, stick around if you want the spoiler section. If not, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. All right, welcome to the spoiler section. Anybody want to start? Because I already know what I want to talk about.
First one was the worst fucking assassin ever. He's a Lyft driver. Robert McCall is like a Lyft driver, and this guy is sent out to kill him. So he's in the back seat waiting. He's like, "Oh, it's my daughter's birthday. She's turning 5."
Yeah, he's got a little teddy
He's
bear.
staring him down like nobody's business. Like, what the fuck? It's like, this guy is creepy. He's about to do something. Pulls out a fucking knife.
Chef's knife.
A knife.
Not an
A
assassin's knife. He
Even
has
though
a
he
chef's
has a-
knife.
He
fucking
has
gun.
a gun. Oh, I'm picking up my daughter. Pop, surprise.
No, all he has to do is, take me to the airport. And then get out of the car. Right? So that's what I was talking about, is that Denzel Washington has plot armor, and that's why we probably gave it 5 across the board, 4 for me, because a lot of the situations have no tension. It's still entertaining to watch Denzel kick some ass, but I just wish that there was more at stake in individual fights.
Or
as
if the
we
fight
see in
scenes
other
were
movies.
better, like I loved watching him beat up those frat guys in the penthouse. Like they had taken advantage of this girl, and he's her
This
driver
is
to the
another
hospital.
Lyft driver thing. And what do you think about this? It didn't feel kind of an advertisement for Lyft.
I was
it was
about
real
to
heavy.
say that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, that, like him being a Lyft driver was pointless.
It was annoying.
Pointless.
Because, well, no, I wouldn't say it's pointless, Joe. Because
Why?
I like the idea of being a cab driver or an Uber or a Lyft. Because you hear stories and you can actually kind of do something about it. So I thought that was clever.
Yeah, he only
but I
did
wish they
one.
would've just kept
Only
it.
But
did
doesn't
one
have,
story.
He doesn't have an
He
identity.
does multiple ones.
Which one?
The old guy. That's one of his regular drivers, customers. It's just
That was
a lot of them.
terrible
actually,
one.
like two or three. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that was another one. Usually in the spoiler section, we like to point out plot holes and stupid stuff. One of them is this final battle. In this one, the movie feels the need. Maybe the movie kind of feels like, oh shit. Act 1 and 2 were kind of slow burns, even for me. The director was like, so let's just throw in a random storm. Okay, let's just get a.
They had been talking about the hurricane the entire movie.
Yeah, they're like, a storm's
Fine.
coming.
Storms
I
are
know,
coming.
but
Old
that
guy
was
said
all-
storms are coming.
Oh my God, that's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And the storm finally arrives on this one little part of the island that they're evacuating. He uses a fake badge to get in and lure, which is his old hometown. See, here's what I feel about this film. It sounds really great on paper when he goes back to his hometown and he defeats his old team. Because all those guys are supposedly on his old team.
Yeah.
And it just sounds so amazing on paper, but executed, it feels so distant, like it's not connected right, and you don't really feel like these guys were his team. He does talk with one guy in particular.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal of Game of Thrones. And I knew it was him, but it kind of looks different here. He saved his mustache.
And he got his eye ripped out. Like a thumb went through his eye. Like how many times does Pedro Pascal have to have his eye
Poor
pushed
guy, I
in?
don't know exactly. So this final battle, there's 100-mile-an-hour winds, and what does Pedro do? The first thing he does, all right, he only brings 4 guys with him. He's supposed to be the most amazing mercs, getting every job done, but it's absolute suicide. If you know anything about close quarter battle and urban combat, you do not try to clear fucking 30, 40 houses on this island where a guy had a head start on you and could have set up booby traps. They could have just simply said the first 2 guys that died and they're cut down to 50% efficiency. We're getting the fuck out of here and we'll go and pull when he least expects it, like they do throughout the film. Assaulting his friend, Susan, and killing her. Susan dies.
Maybe
in
they
this
felt
film.
rushed
It felt like a
because-
kill count for no reason. But hold on. And so in this final battle, first thing he does, he gets there. He's like, all right, everybody fan out, split up, go into separate areas so that he can pick you off one at a time.
It was like
While I
Scooby-Doo mystery team. All right, gang, let's split up.
and while I act as a sniper in the middle of a fucking tsunami, so my bullets are gonna go all over the place. My
I can't
visibility
see.
is gonna be shit, and I'm isolating myself as a sitting duck for this Equalizer. So it was just so stupid, and I hated it. But it gave an opportunity. It sounds so good on paper. Okay, he's gonna fight his rival team and all that, and it's gonna be so awesome. But the kills are rather.
But at that point, wouldn't you have somebody
That's a
be
word.
like in the table? It's like, that doesn't sound right. Why would a sniper go up in the tower during a tsunami. Shut up, Greg. You're fired.
Yeah, get out of here. Actually, I liked all the kills. Like, I really liked the guy getting shot through the face with the spear gun.
That was
was pretty sweet.
Yeah, actually, that was.
The guy getting blown up in the grain silo explosion. He makes like an artificial. So he's in a bakery and he turns all the fans on
shit, you're
and
right.
he fills it with flour. So like
I would draw that because the kills are good.
they're kind of cool. And then the other guy, he just chops up in little pieces. Like he sits there and just kind of slices him up
With knife kata. But you explain that flashbang one because he realizes that every single time they're throwing in flashbangs to try to clear a house.
So he goes into the bakery and he slices open all of the flour bags and then turns on a fan. So the room that he just walked into is now filled with flour particulate and like there's a highly oxygenated area. And so they throw in the flashbang and then it blows up like
He gets out of the house.
I don't know if a flashbang would do that.
Yeah, it might have been a different type of cooking material than flour.
Oh, is it? Well, the flour that's how
gasoline.
grain silos
I know it's
explode.
probably gas too. Everything up in there, okay? Basically, they knew they were fucked and they underestimated and they got their asses kicked.
And then
now, it was entertaining to watch, but, you knew he was not in danger at all.
Never.
Never in danger.
No, Pedro died the way you think he would. Like first he gets a thumb in the eye, and then like break his arm. He broke
Did
a lot
y'all
of
know
dudes'
he
arms.
was the bad guy from the beginning?
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
too.
As soon
Did
as he
you know
showed up,
was
it's
the
like,
bad guy?
oh man.
Now they got me with showing his family and giving his daughter grapes and all that stuff. I was like, oh, okay,
Same,
maybe he's not.
same.
And they made it seem like that car parked out there with the old team was gonna kill him too.
Yeah.
So that one was a good turnaround, but I felt like he was, and then they faked me out. And I'll give the film credit because I was faked out until he came in, and I was like, oh. He called him on the phone. It rang. It was clever. So the film has some great moments in it.
It did. That's why I would give it a 5.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not. It's
a 5
average.
out of 10.
Had this movie not been as slow and it didn't meander through all of these stories that didn't matter. And like I said, if there had been one more story, one of his little side quests had another like a payoff at the end where he just beats up a bunch of people, I think this movie could have been a 6 or 7.
Yeah, golly, now I feel like us, 4 out of 10, it probably is more like what you guys think, a 5 out of 10. But I was a little rougher on it because it is the sequel, and I'm expecting it to be written a little tighter,
that's what I was
a little
expecting.
better. And when I go out there a second time, you really want to see Robert McCall, go and do his thing. John Wick raised the stakes and really paid off.
He's half near bleeding and like gushing blood everywhere, but he's still going.
But did you
out
like
there.
John Wick 2 better than John Wick 1?
Actually, I think it's about on par, just in different ways. For me, it was.
Nobody kills a man's dog.
It's difficult. I think I might have. It's tough because that initial seeing this world for the first time, you get so excited, and John and then his dog is
Continental
dead.
and everything.
They
Oh,
kind of
man.
repeat some of that stuff in the second film, but it doesn't
But
have
they
the
give
same
you a
impact.
little extra.
But they give you a little extra, more action, raise the stakes, kind of a more an interesting boss. And here, that's the stuff that was lacking. So, yeah. Anything else? They did the plot line with murals and this kid who was falling in with the gang. So he goes in there and basically beats up people in the projects. This gang kicks their fucking ass.
2 people.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be any repercussions. I
None
think
at all.
those guys are so brain dead and just shitty human beings that they would probably go and attack him,
Yeah, that's
Or
what
at
I was
least take it
thinking.
out.
Yeah,
That's
I was
the
like,
third
all right,
movie.
so now the action's about to start. This gang's gonna be like, who the fuck was that? Let's go retaliate. Nobody
Right.
comes into my house, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I was like waiting on it. It's like,
No, but they
what?
do the plot line where his friend from his old squad,
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal is the real bad guy and kills his Susan, his contact, and he has to fight his old team. So that's kind of what they did. But it sounds better than it was executed.
It was kind of badass when he stood in front of all of them and just said, like, I'm going to kill each and every
Yes.
one of you.
fucking love that.
And then he like
See, for every negative, there's
Yeah.
a positive, and that's why it's.
he had the perfect getaway for that scene too, because he's like, oh, I'm gonna have your wife and your kids driving to the airport so you can do nothing about it, and just like walks away after saying, I'm gonna kill all of you.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, and those kids have no daddy no more because he fucks him up. Like, brutally cuts the back of his neck and rips his spine out almost.
Yeah.
Fatality. That's
it
how
was nutty.
fucking brutal it was at the end.
He killed-
He fucking kicks his dead body off the fucking thing, falls on some rocks some more. And that was a realistic looking
I
fall.
was like, oh my
God damn, is he really the hero?
Robert, take it easy.
And as I
He's
was
had
watching-
enough.
And as I was watching this, Joe, I was like, you know what? It's more like Denzel Washington is the big boss, bad guy who's always stronger than these guys.
Yeah.
And those guys were the heroes.
Those guys are just trying to. Honestly, he tells you, he's like, hey, man, look, the agency just let me go. I need to provide for my family. This is what I got to
I'm
do.
a mercenary.
It's a
I
But he
paycheck.
still worked at the
He's
agency.
like, I'm doing the same thing you did. They gave you a piece of paper. This time, I got money
That's
for it.
right. But I guess he did those jobs on the side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because he was still talking with Susan as if he still had a job at the agency, which we don't really know. Do we know what agency this is? They never
It
really
could be the
referred
Central
to it.
Yeah, 'cause he
Intelligence
said he got
Agency, or it could just be like
fired.
I don't know.
murderers for the
We
government.
see some random FBI joggers, but I think they make jokes at their expense, like they're
Yeah.
better than the FBI or something. I don't fucking know. Who the hell runs around with big old FBI shirts while you're jogging? I mean, is that FBI?
Me.
Female body inspector?
Damn straight all the time.
All right,
Hence
guys.
why I'm single.
We're gonna go ahead and end it there. So thank you so much for watching, and we like Equalizer, but we were hoping there would be something a little better. It is a good watch. I do recommend you watch it if you're a fan of the original, but maybe you could save your money until it comes out.
Go to matinee.
Yeah, matinee.
Don't see
or-
Skyscraper, though.
Yeah, no, this was better than Skyscraper.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
Anything else?